You're very welcome to Destination Newry's News Bite here on a Thursday evening. And I have to say hello to Carla and Gerry. You're very welcome on this lovely sunny day, one of the nicest days of the year. And of course, with I suppose, the lockdown lifting, a lot of people are out and about the town. I've noticed there's an awful cars on the road. And I've also noticed that there's a little bit of a spike with coronavirus in Europe with the lockdown being lifted there as well. So hopefully, if I can get my technology working on this end, I'll be able to give you that information at the end. But Gerry and Carla, it's great to have you here on a
Good
Thursday
to be
evening.
back.
And
Thanks very
it's
much,
good.
Jamie.
You missed last week, Gerry, and
I
we
did, I
thought that.
did. Unforeseen circumstances. So there was the so I'm back now.
And Carla, of course,
So that's possible.
it's always good to have you on board here. So I suppose what we could say is that things are starting to come round a little bit, starting to come back to a little bit of normality. How do you think this is going to pan out over the next couple of weeks?
Can I
Oh,
just
Carla,
turn
you go
around?
first. Yeah,
Carla,
just let
ladies.
Carla go. Yeah, because she's beside me here.
Well,
Would I pull her over here? Would I pull her over here?
I'm
Would I pull her over
wonderful.
here?
Actually, I'm in a women's group in the CCG, and we were discussing this today. Like each day is changing, and as far as we're concerned as a community association, if we were to take a bus out, they were sit 2 meters apart. You could put 12 people in the bus, but if they were to sit 1 meter apart, you could put double. So you're going to be spending thousands on just getting to the places. So you don't know. We just don't know.
Gerry, what do you think of the relaxation of the 2 meter rule?
Uh, I'm apprehensive, but at the same time, I can understand it really. But the most important news to me today is the gym's opening, and apparently on the 10th of July. So I am happy with that. Our local church is opening next week, so I'm happy with that. And obviously, people will be happy with pubs and stuff. That's their cup of tea and fair play. Mine is my gym and going to the local church. Those are my two priorities. So I'm delighted. But I think it's like everything else. Even though they're opening up, we have to be conscious of the fact it's still there. You know what I mean? I think people have to
Yeah.
be aware of that because there's a sense of normality now, and people think it's okay. There was no deaths today and different thing, but it can come like a thief in the night, all of a
So,
sudden.
yeah, Gerry. I was thinking about the pubs opening and the restaurants and the pub restaurants, and that if you serve food, you could open up. But if you didn't serve food, you couldn't open up. And I was sort of wondering if the virus was coming down the road and I spotted a pub that was serving food, it couldn't go in there. But if the one
No,
next door wasn't serving, it could go in there.
no,
And
it's
to me, that's a
it,
ridiculous situation to have. So at least maybe a little bit of something starting to come back. But let's hope high that things are starting to come back to normality. And of course, this last while we've talked about their kids and the P7s, and I would call them the COVID-19 P7s. And people were saying they've missed everything, but they will remember this forever and ever and ever. So I'm not sure who's going to go first, but Gerry, I know that Carla's beside me here, and you're holding us up here, the two of us. So I think maybe we'll just take Carla. So Carla, you can tell us what's happening down your end of the town, and then we'll get down to Gerry. So it's great to have you here on a lovely sunny Thursday evening. So take it away there.
Thanks very much, Jamie, and absolutely beautiful today. Well, Destination Newry, thank you so much for having us back again. We have a few things this week. The first one is we have birthday wishes for our chairman, who is Mr. Mickey Collins. Actually, it was Mickey's birthday last week, and he tried to hide it on us, but we found out through the grapevine. You can see Mickey there with his wife and his son, Bernie and Kieran. Mickey's a great man, and he's a great leader, and we have great respect for him, the whole team. So, Mickey, happy birthday to you, and when this is all over, we'll get a pint of the black stuff with you. We have congratulations to Jennifer Haney. She is graduating with a first class honour degree. Jennifer, your mum and your dad and your sisters and your brother are very proud of you, as are the whole community. It's great to see the young ones doing so well. And I know Jennifer's worked herself into the grave. She's really, really worked so hard. So she deserves this so much. Well done, Jennifer, from everyone in the community. This next story is, it might seem a bit strange, but just bear with me. During the week, we've had reports of over by the Rampart where people would walk just behind Park Esler. There are reports of fish lying around the walkway where people are walking. we're not too sure, but there's a few of them, and they're just laying randomly around with a few crabs. But we're afraid of people slipping on them or not seeing them, or even maybe the dogs coming to eat them, or if they'll be carrying any germs. Just to be careful. Now, we have a few theories on these, and one is that the herons are taking the fish from the canal. They're flying over the rampart, decided they don't like the fish, and they're throwing them out of the mouths. This could be maybe because they don't like the fish, or there's something wrong with them. So or then another theory was that they were jumping out of the water because there wasn't enough water down that way. But it's just to be vigilant that there's no fish falling from the sky onto your heads, or obviously your dogs don't eat them. So bit of a strange one. If anyone has any updates about why these fish are lying around, if they could let us know. It's a strange one. We have also a new setup this week where I was doing a bit of sports news, but listen, I'm no good at sports. I don't know Gaelic from the soccer, so we needed to get someone in who was in the know, and one of our committee members, Claire Fitzpatrick, knows everything there is to know about the sports roundup within our area. So I've got Claire to do a wee video, and she's going to do a roundup for us every week. So if we give that wee video a play there, and she'll tell us what's happening.
Hi folks, I'm here to give the sports roundup of the Ballinacraig area. I did text Carla telling her what was going on, but her exact message back to me was it went over her head and straight up the dual carriageway. So I have been delegated the task of it. We'll start with Newry Shamrocks. This week the county championship draw was done. So Shamrocks reserves play Kilcoo. Then we have the intermediates who made the county final last season and lost it in heartbreaking style. They are playing Addy Hall. And then we move on to our hurlers who had a fantastic season last season, making the junior hurling Ulster final. So this draw, the first round they have got Clonduff, then the second round Carryduff, and then the third round they have Leitrim. So all of Ballinacraig, we're wishing you all the very best. On that matter, we are going to sit down with the county board and talk about the parking and things for games. We realise it has been an issue for our residents, so we're going to try and find that balance that our residents are happy, but also match goers and that are safe and secure and where the park and that. We also want to say a massive thank you to Newry Shamrocks also, who have provided some lovely goodies to our association during this whole lockdown, and it's very much appreciated. We move on to Cleary Celtic now. Obviously no football at the minute, but Cleary Celtic's last man standing is still going. As of Monday, there was 123 people left in it, but I know a few went out on Newcastle last night, and then there's a few fixtures to be played tonight. Mako needs the next round of fixtures. He needs your picks in by 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. And also money is starting to be collected in for last man standing. So if you want to give Mako a wee shout with any outstanding money, that would be appreciated. So that's your sports roundup for now. Thank you very much for listening.
So as I say, Claire knows her stuff where I haven't a clue. Thanks very much, Claire. That was fantastic. We had a serious break-in in a car in O'Neill Avenue during the week, and the vandals had broken into the car and taken the entire contents out of the car, including bank documents, bank statements, and bank cards. They actually got money out of the bank machine from this young fella who owned the car. He had just started a new job, so he was just starting to get into a new routine, and this just set him right back again. The community association have been helping him with the police and the local councillors about trying to get this resolved, but since then there has been an arrest made, which we're very happy and pleased about, to hopefully deter other vandals or thieves in the night. So well done to all involved in that. We have, as we've already heard, we've been awarded money from the Northern Ireland Housing Executive. We have given out 40 of those packs this week, maybe a few photographs there of just some people receiving their packs. They included smellies, soaps, anything. There was false eyelashes in it. There was beard and nose trimmers in it. But there was 40 very happy residents down here, and they were all people who made an impact during COVID. That's a nurse, we have carers there, we have ambulance drivers, lorry drivers, another carer. We had the doctor's drivers, and Mako there just did a lot during COVID as well, keep people in touch with people and reaching out to us as well. So there's 40 very happy people there. We still have another 2 sets of packs to give out. One is the baby pack, and the baby pack includes blankets, potties, baby wipes, nappies. What we're going to do with those is we would rather if somebody had contacted ourselves, the Facebook page, or else one of the committee, if they were in need, just had a baby. These are suiting for children around 1 and under 1. If they would let us know if they have anybody in need, we could give these packs out. Of course, they're confidential, and we hope to be giving them out on Sunday with the committee members. We also have 20 back to school packs, and these packs include papers, pens, pencils, and we were thinking maybe people have been using them throughout the pandemic, and maybe they don't have maybe money to replace what they've been using, and they're still doing homeschooling. So we were thinking maybe if they could contact the page, there's only 20 of those to be given away, so it'll be the first come, first serve. But what we'll do is we'll put the more information up on our Facebook page later tonight about how you can go about getting one of those. And we have great news this week as well. We've received new funding from Live Here, Love Here, and the funding has been awarded to planting trees, shrubs, flowers along the old Warren Point Road. So we had made it in conjunction with the OAP. So we've decided to leave it to them. They know best. They're going to take care of it. All we're going to do is write the checks. So we have been speaking to a couple of the elderly residents who are more than happy to help with this incentive. But if there is anybody else who would like to help, it's not just a one-off. It will be making sure they're watered, they're fed, they're well looked after, and they're not vandalised. If there's anybody who'd be interested in that, if they would just let us know. And again, we put more information about that when we have it. We have become aware that there will be an illegal bonfire in August, and there's pellets being collected, and there has been a few of them just dumped around the Torah Park area. I've been in contact with Valerie Hart, and she's getting those lifted tomorrow, and would just like to warn the kids that this is totally illegal. It might not be children, it might be boys, girls, women, men, whoever it is. What you're doing is illegal. You're causing hassle around the area and an eyesore to all the neighbours. It's not fair. Please stop doing it, just for your area and your neighbours. Also, it's a danger because if there's an elderly person walking along and the pallets there, they're going straight over it. The last thing I have to speak about is a bit of a sensitive area. During the pandemic, we were contacted by a family. One of their family members had a gambling addiction and had food poverty because of the addiction. It started through boredom, and it was online, got themselves into a bit of financial difficulty, but we were able to help them. So I just wanted to touch on a bit of Gamblers Anonymous in Newry. They have a great Facebook page. I have a friend, and he was more than willing to let me share his video with him tonight, and we'll maybe just give that a wee run now. It's Adrian Larkin.
How you doing? Just a wee video there as regards the Ardine Youth Club Struggle to Strength campaign. Just been watching the videos and the messages are getting out there as regards mental health awareness and great work you are doing. Yeah, it is okay not to be okay. For me, myself personally, lifelong battle with gambling addiction, which obviously had a detrimental effect on my own mental health. In Gamblers Anonymous Fellowship, the first step is admitting we're powerless over gambling. If you can turn that around maybe too into the mental health aspects, admitting maybe that things aren't good, seeking that help because there is help out there, from my own self personally. It took me to Craigavon and Bluestone, my mental health wasn't good, and my gambling addiction, and I say that the knock-on effect, the ripple effect it had on my mental health. And seeing the work that you are doing, the promotion of getting it out there, because it is okay not to be okay, and seeing the videos there that the boys on the cycling out there too. Was in a bit of lull there myself for a few weeks, but got myself back on track, back out on my bike there on Saturday, physically draining, but mentally absolutely the benefits of it, unbelievable, back in cloud nine, life isn't easy, and obviously with current situations and restrictions in place and our normality taken from us, it can be hard for people, but just try and seek help, try and talk to someone, because there is always somebody there willing to listen, that's what it's about, being aware that things maybe aren't just 100%, and if you need that wee bit of help, and just maybe even a chat with someone, because there definitely is help out there, and it's great seeing the message being promoted there, unbelievable work you're doing, and hopefully, no doubt, the amount of people it's benefiting will just grow and grow, so well done, folks, and thank you.
Yeah, super proud of Adrian, and we're going to give that a bit of a shout out tonight on our Facebook page about the Gamblers Anonymous in Newry. I believe that their meetings had been cancelled for a while because of COVID, and maybe it set people back. But they've said, don't let that stop you from coming ahead. And yes, that's the Facebook page there, and I think they're very easy to get on with. I've spoken to a few of them, but Adrian's top man there, and I'm sure you'd have no problems with getting in contact. So, Cathal and Damien, that's all from me. Sorry we kept you too long tonight.
Carla, you never keep us too long. Listen, well done to Adrian. I commend him for his bravery, and I would also say that Sister Concilio's in Coonmore up the Dublin Road does great work there as well, and they're always there to help people. There's no doubt about that. So listen, I have to say that was a very fishy tale. I love the analogy. The fish didn't think there was enough water in there, so they jumped out to where there's no water. That's a real Newry one. Well done.
The amount of people have been saying, wonder if is it that, is it that? We just don't know. But it's just to make people aware,
Well, I don't know. Maybe they could jump with maybe they just didn't like the Dromalane side of the river. Maybe that could have been it,
Whoa. That's a wee bit too much.
I have to say, and it's a great idea to have the sweet Newry girl there doing the sports, because she's a great Newry Shamrocks woman, and she's great crack on Twitter as well. So yeah, so well done on that. So listen, Gerry, that was a very, very fishy tale. I don't know how you're going to batter that one. I don't think you will.
I was just thinking that day. I was going to say to myself, a very hard act to follow is hard. I feel like at home and then I realise I am at home, and I must continue as I am, so to speak. So and it's good to be back on. I wasn't here as much. But
Gerry, I looked at that big long fish, and it seemed a very funny shaped fish. I don't know, if I was walking down the ramparts and I seen a fish like that, I wouldn't be slipping on it. I'd be running the other direction. I really would, So, Gerry,
we're used to big fish.
Listen, we wouldn't have fish like that in Camla. We would have real fish. Look at the shape of that fish.
But they're all around the ramparts, And the other thing,
I don't know.
Damien, just to let you know quickly, paranormal shenanigans were down around there 2 weeks ago, so maybe they were frightened. I don't know.
Well, I don't like that sort of stuff. I stay well away from that. But I can tell you one thing: you've got people thinking funny shaped fish coming off the ramparts.
We did see the crowd going down there over the weekend. Social distance will not be 1 meter, it'll be 6 inches. They'll all be going down to say we were here and we photographed, posed.
I think they were far over from Dromalane then. Carla, listen. Thanks a million. Gerry, you're going to have a hard act to follow, but follow it you must.
Let's hear it from I'll do my utmost, Damon. It's absolutely a fantastic day, as we all say. It's just a brilliant day to be sitting in the house in front of a laptop. But one must do what one must do. First of all, can I give an update on what we as a committee have been doing from this last week or so? First of all, we'll be giving out Sainsbury's vouchers to those who are deemed in most need within our community. That is to replace the food parcels that we've made up on several occasions that we felt that let people select what they want food-wise, or if they want to get a phone top-up voucher in Sainsbury's. Now, the value of them are £15 each, so we've identified at this moment in time 33 to 34 people who would warrant them, and hopefully within the next few weeks we'll get another £500 and continue with that process. It's something different, and I think is giving people the choice is very important. We also plan to make up packs for teenage boys and girls hopefully sometime in July, depending on funding, but we're very confident that we will get that fund, because again, we done for primary school children, we're done for senior citizens, and there was a gap there with teenagers, so we want to fill that gap. So it'll be relevant items, and obviously the women in our committee will be looking after the girls' side, and the men will be looking after the teenage boys' side. So we're very excited about that. Unfortunately, once again, our outdoor bingo was cancelled there on Tuesday, and there was people crying in the house and everything else, saying they couldn't stick it, but there was nothing we could do because of the heavy rainfall, and the ground was obviously saturated. But hopefully we'll be back on next Tuesday evening at 7:30 again, weather permitting. Our weekly rosary was used to be the excuse for me leaving early. I've no excuse now, so I'm here at 9 o'clock, Damien, so bear with me. Was stopped after 8 weeks, and took into consideration various factors, and knowing that our parish church will be opening up within a week or two, which thankfully next week it will open up for masses, rosaries, etc. So that's it. And can I take this opportunity to thank Lawrence McCartan from Dromalane, who led the rosary throughout those whole 8 weeks and helped to make it. Also, everyone who got involved were absolutely delighted with it. We decided we had a meeting during the week, obviously taking social distance and stuff into consideration, as one must do. We're going to have a deep clean of our community building tomorrow night, and any committee member that's watching this, that's a reminder. You can't say you forgot, because I'm reminding you now that's what's happening. I think it's 6:15 or 6:30, and we're going to do it inside and outside the centre, because we're conscious that things are happening that fast that we don't want to be left out by saying you can have limited activities on your centre. We need to have everything in order, particularly in the cleansing aspect of it. The good news is for those in our community, and I mean those in our community, in a few weeks we'll be having an outdoor table quiz. This will be followed by the community sing-along. That will be the third community sing-along. And there will be prizes available for the quiz. Anybody out there who wishes to sponsor a prize, feel free to do so. I'm the sort of person doesn't say no, particularly when people are giving us something. I want to stress out, for obvious reasons, this is for our community. I'm sure people will understand that we don't want people later on with these things happen when we're in a far better place. We can invite all people. As I said, we had a meeting during the week, the committee members, and we discussed. We've done an initial assessment of what we've done over the 3 months plus of the crisis, and we also drew up some plans which haven't been finalised, but when they are, it'll be on our community Facebook page. I had a telephone conversation with Madeline McCrank from the Health Trust, and as I asked about possible funding from DFC's Neighbourhood Renewal Programme. Can I say it now, without Neighbourhood Renewal, trust me, the likes of our centre and centres within the Neighbourhood Renewal area, there's 9 communities, would find it very, very difficult to survive. And a big shout out to them and DFC and all involved in Neighbourhood Renewal. So Madeline and myself come up with the idea of having, for example, Keep Fit for primary school children. It will be done 5 days, consecutive 5 days for 2 hours every day. There will be a professional trainer overseeing this here, but the maximum amount of children under the circumstances is 10, but the way things are changing that quickly, if it turned to 10, 15 or 20, but we have to go according to the guidelines that we're presently dealing with. There will also be something for the senior citizens, and it's a Grow Good Wellbeing program, as well as a mindfulness pack. We also plan ourselves. See, we're very visionary. We knew that this was going to come to the stage that we could have these activities. Don't wait on Stormont or people to tell us what to do. We think ahead that we're going to have a junior sports day, and I do jest when I say that, Damien. Obviously taking social distance and things like that into consideration and the proper procedures and protocol. the thing that I'm very proud of in our committee, I'm sure our community associations throughout Newry and beyond are too, we continue to deliver the food parcels from the Newry Leisure Centre food hub, and they're delivered throughout Newry. And over the past 12 weeks, it is estimated that over 100 of these were delivered by 2 committee members, that's Edwina and Gary, 2 volunteers, Noel and Mihal. Can I explain briefly, and I don't know the meaning of the word briefly, but I will, is that entails me getting an email, then emailing those volunteers and committee members, then ringing them, double checking, then getting the details on the email, then going out of their homes, travelling to the leisure centre, picking up 2 or 3 boxes, then travelling it throughout different parts of Newry, leaving them outside the houses, making sure that somebody opens the door. If not, they have a phone number, they ring them, and then back. So you can. The reason why I'm saying that, it's not a straightforward process. It can be, I'm not saying strenuous at times, because trust me, the boxes are very heavy to say the least. But and we're delighted, and I say this time and time again, that we're delighted that, and I'm not complaining when I say these things. I just like to reflect the truth, and that's a reflection of the truth. And we're delighted that we're able to do this, because one thing that we're conscious of is that we want to get involved in helping not just our own community through this crisis, but our communities throughout Newry, because we always say we're all in this together. I'm slightly disappointed that I had to say this. I need to. That there was, there was a lot of people furloughed in relevant agencies, and I've yet to see them doing this. But once again, community associations come to the fore all the time. They don't ask why, they just do, and that makes them different, with all due respect to our people. The issue regarding those food parcels, DFC have now changed the criteria for getting them, and this will take effect from the 26th of June. The focus will be on basically those who are shielding and who have no means of getting food, whether it's online or somebody from a family member living. So that's what's going to happen. Previous to that, up until I think until tomorrow, it was people who just applied for it, and justifiably so were entitled. But the way things are going now is that, so NFA says is that anyone who's not in that category of shielding to contact the community helpline on 080 88 02 0020 or tax action, and action in uppercase to 81025. We were recently contacted by Newry 2020 about locating a small air quality sensor at our centre, and this would be part of I think Cal has a photograph or something of what the sensor looks like, part of a community based smart city project where they hope to display sensors throughout the Newry area to collect air quality data, which is very, very important in these times. This can be shared with local groups and decision makers. And I'm delighted that we were seeing, and also to give public awareness of the results of that collective information. And I'm delighted to say that we agreed to it in principle, but knowing the fact that it's the council that owns the building, I contacted the council, explained the whole situation to them. They were considering it. I'm awaiting their approval, so to speak. Can I just say now, well done to fellow committee member Mickey, and I think Carl has a photograph here about rescuing the cat that was caught up in football nets in the football field in Dromalane Park. Now, Mickey spent 15 to 20 minutes or more doing this, and as you know, the poor animal was petrified and was biting Mickey, scrabbing him and scratching him and everything else, but Mickey was undeterred, and eventually after a length of time, the cat was set free and fair play to him. So he's one of my persons of the week. I have another one coming up. So it's also well done to Barry Small, well-known community activist who recently put flowers, etc., on our monument, which was there to celebrate the entrance of Dromalane, fantastic monument there for the 50th anniversary of the building of Dromalane Park. Was 4 set of houses in Dromalane Park were built in 1950. They were known as the 20 houses. It was completed the other 127 houses. It was a total of 147 houses. The remainder of the houses were completed. The whole estate was completed in 1952. And Barry, a few weeks ago, I highlighted it on here. Him and Joey cleaned up that monument, and he's looking after this monument for several years now. And both him and Mickey are my 2 persons of the week. There's been an ongoing problem with, and I think with, trees in Dromalane between number 81 and 86 Dromalane Park. They're overgrown, to say the least. They're even going up as far as the telephone lines. They're spreading out, covering the footpaths. They're darkening people's houses, the people who obviously live close by. They've complained several times, particularly to myself and to others. Anyway, I emailed what's this called, out their services. They're responsible for grounds maintenance from the house. I emailed them and sent them 2 photographs of the trees in question, and also 1 or 2 residents contacted grounds maintenance, and hopefully, I'm very confident of this. When I say hopefully, I'm confident that this will be resolved sooner rather than later. The other thing is the church opening. I have to mention this for masses. Obviously, many in our community and parish are delighted that this news that the church will be opening to celebrate Mass, and it will happen from Monday the 29th of June. There will be Masses at 2:35 every day, and as well as that there'll be a vigil Mass on Saturday 6:15 and 8 p.m. There used to be only one at 6:15, but on account of limited numbers being allowed into the church, they've decided in their wisdom to have 2 on Saturday night. Sunday, usually it was at 10:30, 12 o'clock, but now it's 10:30, 12:30 and 5:30 Mass, but again, limited numbers. There'll be 1 pew out of every 3 used, a maximum of 2 people in each pew, unless they're members of the same family. Can I just stress, I know some people I was talking about a wee bit, and obviously I'll be apprehensive about it. I can assure you now, I was at a meeting recently in the church, and everything that can be done will be done, has been done, and I'm amazed at the amount of preparations that are put in place. We have volunteer cleaners coming in who will clean it every day. There's not much happening. Everything, trust me, it's I have to say, it's one of the safest places in Newry to go for anything. So I'm absolutely delighted with that. Just as much as I'm delighted to know that the gym is supposed to be opening on the 10th of July. And if it doesn't open, I'll not be a happy man, and my daughter Jennifer will not be a happy woman. But let's say about that. Can I just conclude about something? It's not me going on a rant, because people who knows me, I don't rant, Damien. I just say it how it is. I think a lot about the work that volunteers throughout Newry, and obviously the health service and all those in the front line of it. But I'm also conscious and focused on the fact of the fantastic work the community associations have done during this crisis. To me and to many others, they're on the front line as much as anybody else. The example was those parcels I was talking about. Knowing they put them, I'm not saying they put themselves, they go out of their way to do it. And I just believe that with the health service and things, there should be a plaque for the likes of that, but there also should be a plaque for community associations for their outstanding contribution during this crisis, because they're there 24/7. They were there during a 30-year conflict. They were there for decades. They'll be there for decades after. And community groups will probably crack up with me saying this, but I'm a person who says it how it is. I carry my heart in my sleeve, and sometimes my mouth in my head. But that's people who knows me knows that. And I would think it would be fitting that, taken into consideration as community associations, committee members, you don't just have the worry of doing what you're doing for it. You have to worry, particularly if you're community centre, your running costs, your overheads, getting funding for projects, all these insurance, all the hoops that you have to go through. It's stressful, and I know people who have had nervous breakdowns. I'll be honest, I had several over 30 years, trust me, I several breakdowns. But when you're committed to community work, you get up, you rise above it because you do what you believe is best for your community you love and other communities. And so I would like to see, and I'm going to not say fight for this, push for this, something to reflect the community groups' contribution, not just to Newry, but society in general. The other thing, the final thing, and it is a final thing, Damien, a reminder that it's, I have to say this, the blue bins in Dromalane and Quayside closes tomorrow, and it'll be out for, I think, 8 o'clock. And if you're colourblind like me, it's the pink bin. So I'm just going to people that leave pink. Well, it is blue's pink to me, I think, but that's, I say that with a jest. So I'm just saying this. I wish everybody well, keep and stay safe, and hopefully see you all next week.
Well, Gerry, thanks a million. And I suppose what you can do is with all your collection, with all your parcels, and that maybe get a few pics next week, and we can look at them. But yes, brilliant to say the blue bin is out in Dromalane. It's also out in the Camel area because my blue bin has to go out. It was out last night as well, so that's a good idea because I'm always going, what colour of a bin is to go out? So Gerry, again, a great roundup of what's happening in Dromalane. But Gerry, I have to say, Destination Newry has been leading the charge here with community associations during the COVID-19 pandemic, because with this initiative that Destination Newry have come up with, we have shown how brilliant all the community associations are across the district, and we're very proud to be part of that and getting the story out, because I think without it, probably not half it, a lot of people wouldn't know what's going on.
And giving full credit to Destination Newry, only 4 years. I know a lot of people knows out there you're doing this, but they don't know what happens in the background, what you're going through, the stress factors and the accident work. And if it wasn't for the likes of you, I know it was on Facebook now and then, but it's not community groups saying is we're brilliant. We're not. We're not. We do it because we love our communities, we care about our communities, we're committed to our communities. And like I said, our community leaders may say, Gerry, I personally have decided that I believe that they should be pushed out there for what they do.
Look, I have no doubt about it, and the work that the community associations have done right across the district, not just during this pandemic, but right across the years and during the troubles and all, have been phenomenal. So we take our hats off to all the community associations and all the people throughout the years that has, I suppose, put the shoulder to the wheel, and without any, I suppose, publicity, they just done it for the good of the community. And that's what the community is: people helping people in their own community, and that's where we're good at. So I would like to thank everybody for that. And of course, I have to say, it's great that Destination Newry is doing this because we're getting the message out there. So Gerry, listen, thanks a million. And let's hope that you get to the gym and you get to mass and all that, and we'll be able to hear more about it next week. But I got my
Damien, a couple of months at the gym, the screen will go that size.
Well, I'm saying nothing, Gerry. I've got a bike is parked up outside, so I might get out into the night. But listen, thanks a million. And again, we didn't see any fishy tails from Dromalane there. We're lucky enough. So I did get my technology working, so I'll give you a little quick update on the news. Okay, so there's no further deaths in Northern Ireland last night. The total remains at 547. The Stormont Executive has agreed to reduce social distance from 2 metres to 1 metre, and the UK had 149 deaths last night due to coronavirus, or in the 24 hours, and their total now is 43,230. That's a lot of people dead. And one more person has died in the south of Ireland, bringing the total to 1,727. The total deaths due to coronavirus in the island of Ireland is 2,274. But again, most of that is hospital deaths. And as I said, the Northern Ireland Executive agrees to reduce social distancing from 2 metres to 1. It has also agreed indicative dates for the further easing of coronavirus lockdown measures, including the reopening of betting shops on the 3rd of July, gyms, as Gerry says, from the 10th of July, and libraries, and I have to say, from the 16th of July. I'm a phenomenal reader, and it's great to see libraries opening up again. Competitive sport can resume from the 17th of July, with leisure centres and soft play areas allowed to open on the 7th of August. And of course, the 17th of July is tying in with the south of Ireland as well. And a further 2 people have died in Scotland, bringing their total to 2,482. But again, that's coming from the public health in Scotland. These are deaths in hospitals. Wales, that figure will go higher. The number of people who have died with COVID-19 in Wales rose by 6 to 1,497, according to Public Health Wales. And then here, Newry, Morning down, 293 confirmed cases, the same as yesterday, with 45 deaths in the same area. Armagh City, Banbridge and Craigavon, 541 confirmed cases with 81 deaths, and that hasn't changed either. And Michelle O'Neill says the executive has spoken to church leaders, sporting organisations and business leaders. She confirms that places of worship can open for service from the 29th of June, and we will say more about weddings and funerals on Monday, she adds. She says to consider reducing the 2 metre distance rule would depend on whether it's indoors or outdoors, ventilation, and if there are face coverings. She's also reminded people it still must be caution at all times. Europeans seem to have a surge of COVID-19 cases since countries began easing restrictions, bringing the lockdown sort of to a halt. Europe has seen a surge of COVID-19 cases since countries began easing restrictions aimed at curbing spread of the potentially fatal virus, the World Health Organization has said. Last week, Europe saw an increase in weekly cases for the first time in months, the World Health Organization regional director has said. He said more than 24 countries in Europe has seen a resurgence of the deadly virus. 30 countries have seen increases in new cases over the past 2 weeks. So it's not over yet, folks. And of course, the whole thing is stay safe, stay distance, and don't be, if it's 1 meter, make sure it's 1 meter. So we have to say, don't forget on Monday night we have the legendary storyteller Una Walsh with us, and I can tell you this has sort of got the people's imagination going. Everywhere I go, people are talking about this. Please tune in on Monday night at 7:30 to listen to the legendary Una Walsh, giving us a little history of South Armagh. And then, of course, as we go on through the summer, we will probably delve down into the areas that Una's talking about. We have the Standing Stones, we have Craig and Graveyard, we have the Mass Rocks, we have the Market Stone, we have the oldest mountain in Ireland in our area. We've got the most mythical mountain in Ireland in our area. We've got lakes, we've got stories, we've got buildings, we've got everything. And Una Walsh will be telling us all about it on Monday night. So please remember, tune in 7:30 on Destination Newry for the legendary Una Walsh telling us all about South Armagh. Thanks a million. We'll do this all again tomorrow evening.